Here we are today. We've got Emily with us. It is National Tinnitus Week if you're watching this vlog this week. Emily is here to share her story of tinnitus, and she knows so much about it and explains it all so beautifully that we just thought we'd ask.
We'll just explain that actually between the three of us, we all have tinnitus.
Very true, I'd forgotten about that. Mine's very mild, but definitely hormone related. Yours is
I've had it since I was in my 20s, which no one could explain why it happened, but it happened after a flight. And I had all the tests done, and eventually they just said, there's nothing to worry about, you'll never hear from that ear again. It's just, which at 27 you go, oh my God. And they just said, it's like cutting your finger off. You sever the nerve endings and you'll never hear from that ear again.
My noise is a hum, like a washing machine in another room. Your noise is...
Mine's like the rush of an aeroplane engine, so it's a really high-pitched rushing sound that I have constantly in my right ear.
And we're going to hear about Emily's.
And Emily's
got a different sound. So, Emily.
Okay. My hearing started deteriorating just as I started menopause, so I'd wake up in the night with a racing heart and pounding in my ears, and very shortly afterwards I began to notice, and my friends and family noticed, that I wasn't hearing well. So I had a hearing test, saw a consultant, and was diagnosed with quite severe hearing loss in my left ear, and the tinnitus was like a pneumatic drill. It was really unpleasant, and really affected everything, and just made me feel quite low. So I saw a hearing aid specialist on the NHS and have had a hearing aid for 5 months.
Oh, Emily's got her hearing aid with us. It's show and tell time.
I am really...
But you had a little bit of a problem today,
a accident today, because I think my little dog ate the end of my hearing aid. So I'm afraid I can only show you. Normally I would always have it in, but today I'm only going to be able to show you the part that goes behind the ear.
And you just have the one for the ear that's...
Yes, just for the one ear.
Can you explain how it works? Because you were telling us, and it sounds so simple, yet it's obviously really complicated, but I love the whole principle behind it, because your hearing aid specialist said they should be called...
A brain aid.
Brain aid.
Because they actually stimulate impulses to the brain, so with a hearing aid, more of the sound is getting through, it's stimulating the cells, and it helps brain activity. And what I did find, which is really good news, is that the tinnitus has gone down to just a very tiny hum, like yours, that I hear at night when I take out the hearing aid. But during the day,
and did they say that the level of tinnitus might lessen?
Yes, it's often works with a hearing aid. That was one of the reasons I was.
And what was the thinking behind? I like the idea of these little hairs that have suddenly kind of got lots to do.
Yes, I get. They're just a bit. All the hair follicles are being stimulated, and that sends impulses to the brain, and that's what keeps the brain working. So apparently, it will help me avoid things, some age-related dementia.
So when you went to see the audiologist, they didn't think there was any link between your fluctuating hormones or anything. They felt that it was something they thought it was some kind of virus you had.
The consultant thought it was probably a virus. But what was interesting was at the time of going into menopause, I was finding myself suddenly becoming quite unwell. You know, picking up colds and various things like urinary tract infections, which I'd never had before menopause. So I think I've come to the conclusion hormones have a huge role in keeping your you healthy, and that as you go into menopause, you are at risk of maybe succumbing to viruses that you wouldn't have done otherwise.
Yes. I mean, from what little that we've learned, I mean, it is possibly linked to the hormone fluctuations, and there is some link between your brain and your hearing, and they get confused, and that can cause tinnitus. But it's not a proven, nothing.
And it's not, I think this is one of those funny ones. Who would have thought that menopause would
yeah.
be linked to menopause? And when I went to my GP, after I was in the countryside and it was really, really silent, and all I could hear, this is what led me to go to the GP, was this awful hum. And it was really stressful because I couldn't get to sleep. I was in this room thinking, I'm going mad. And then it went on and on.
The more
and
you
on.
concentrate
Exactly.
on it, the more you hear it.
It's one of those
Yeah.
things. And so I went to the GP and he said, switch your radio to a frequency where you get
the white noise.
Now, A, I don't know how to do that, because actually on a digital you can't do that. B, I've actually got a husband, he likes absolute silence, so one way around that would be to wear those, I think we talked
You can
about
get
those
that, can't you, that does white
you
noise.
can also wear, because I've tried the white noise app, and that was, I think it is about adjusting, because I'm a lot better with it now, but I think you could, because I could not have played a radio with white noise, but you can get headphones with little speakers in.
See, I had the opposite. See, to me, going deaf in one ear was actually quite a bonus. I mean, I've just learnt over the years to get used to it. But when we did the sleep vlog, you might, if you've not seen the sleep vlog, my husband snores exceedingly loudly. And me being deaf in one ear actually saved probably our marriage, because I couldn't hear him as much. I can feel the vibrations as he breathes in and out, but I can still hear him, but not as much. There are bonuses.
Yeah.
There are bonuses to having to
to summarise, you went to your GP then referred you on to a audiologist, and the audiologist diagnosed...
I actually saw an ENT consultant.
Right.
I actually had an MRI scan because actually one thing you do need to worry about with asymmetric hearing loss, which is just hearing loss in one ear, is various tumours. So
exactly, and that's exactly what I had to have an MRI scan.
Actually, you don't assume, and to be honest, when you get to our age, there is a problem with assuming that everything you have is a symptom of menopause. So I do think it is important.
Because actually,
absolutely. Yes,
because you aren't assuming.
Exactly.
We
never
say this
assume
in our
anything.
tinnitus symptom, that actually it can be associated with quite serious illnesses.
Yeah.
So, you know, do
Check
get
it
yourself
out.
checked out.
And did you have all the hearing tests?
I had all the hearing tests. In fact, you can get a free hearing test, which I started with in Boots. So, go into London, the big Boots store, and you can have it done for free. And they referred me.
Were you in a booth?
Yeah.
But they put my headphones on the wrong way around.
That's another really good tip, though, because we all see those signs, and I've seen them in the local opticians thinking, let's go in for one of those. Have I done anything about it? No, I haven't.
It's quite interesting because everyone, I think, now would have would have an eyesight test every couple of years.
Yeah.
But a hearing test is something, when I asked around, people won't have a hearing test until they're really quite deaf, and the family keep going, have a hearing
Do you know
test.
what? I am actually going to get one done, because I have my music, and if I'm watching Netflix or something on my laptop, I have it turned up really loudly, and then someone will come in the room and say, that is so loud, and I'll say, no, you've just come in because it's loud music. But in fact, I've got my laptop on maximum for dialogue, just for dialogue, but even I notice, when the music's a little bit higher, but top tip then, free.
Yeah, if you notice things like I was turning up the radio louder. I had I have a radio by my bed to wake me up, and I was finding it wasn't waking me up, so I was turning up the volume to,
probably causing problems in the other ear as well.
so it had gone from 8 to 12 in terms of range of volume in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So that's quite quick.
Yeah. And also, unfortunately, high voices are okay, very squeaky high voices not. My husband is low and mumbles, and he's very difficult to hear.
Yeah, and youngest son mumbles.
Yeah.
Talk louder.
Yeah, in fact, I was wondering about taking a lip reading class, because I don't think it's going to get better.
I was just going to get one of those big
A really nice lady I could see, and knowing you would match every outfit, and then you wouldn't be able to find it.
Yeah,
and
the dog will eat it.
I think one thing to mention before we finish is that HRT, there are some links.
There has been some studies that have shown a link, but I think it's something that if you're on it and you are suffering tinnitus, then discuss it with your GP.
It could be that you might need to change the prescription.
I think it was something to do with estrogen high, but I don't know. Don't
It's
quote us on this.
definitely,
It's
so if you're on
definitely a GP
HRT
thing.
and you're noticing that you're developing tinnitus, and as we've all said, it's just a sound in your inner ear. You'll know if you've got it.
And do look at our
frankly.
symptoms site on tinnitus. We give tips on, because it does say diet, lifestyle. Things you should avoid is definitely smoking. There has been found a link with the Tinnitus Association or something with smoking. And exercise, again, it might not cure it, but if you're having trouble sleeping and the tinnitus is causing you lots of exercise is going to, actually help you sleep. So
And help with all the other symptoms.
And help with all the other symptoms as well. So do check out our symptoms.
Hotflush.info. Listen, Emily, thank you very
It's been a
much.
pleasure.
And we hope
Yes.
that you don't have to rely on getting it out of the dog, that you can get replaced.
It's like the dog ate my homework.
I know, I don't know.
Thank you.
Anyway, thanks for watching.
Bye.